boxing skills are sublime. No doubt he's pound for pound one of the best on the planet Earth. Crawford is the real deal.
And Terence Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change what I feel.
Stephen A.Smith and Max Kellerman shine a spotlight on what they see as a glaring flaw in Canelo Alvarez that could spell trouble against Terence Crawford. They argue that Canelo, while highly respected, is not as invincible as many fans claim. Crawford, on the other hand, has established himself as arguably the best fighter of his generation. His precise boxing, slick footwork, and ability to seamlessly adjust create challenges that Canelo may struggle to answer. According to their analysis, these technical advantages make it likely that Crawford will outclass Canelo and secure a decisive victory.
Him back in the ring with Terence Crawford. Not too soon. Maybe you take a year off and then come back and work your way to the 154, 160 division, and Terence Crawford be there and y'all want to meet again. That's cool. That's cool. But you don't need to be going back in the ring with him this December. I know that much.
Stephen A.Smith makes it clear that Canelo Alvarez's over-reliance on power punching could be his undoing. He notes that Canelo often believes sheer strength will carry him through, but such a strategy falls flat against a fighter as multidimensional as Terence Crawford. Crawford thrives on timing, movement, and sharp execution traits that cannot be overpowered by brute force alone. Smith stresses that beating Crawford demands creativity, adaptability, and technical mastery. He warns that if Canelo enters the fight banking solely on heavy shots, he will quickly find himself outsmarted by Crawford's superior ring IQ.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up. The biggest fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always
prepared.
He's always ready. He's always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster.
Max Kellerman delivers a sharp breakdown, drawing a distinct line between physical might and pure skill in this matchup. He highlights how Crawford's jab has become one of the most lethal tools in modern boxing, allowing him to control range and tempo with ease. Meanwhile, Canelo's jab, once a reliable weapon, has lost its sharpness over the years, leaving him more dependent on counterpunching and power shots. Kellerman emphasizes that Crawford's blend of precision, timing, and tactical brilliance could neutralize Canelo's natural size advantage. For him, this fight could prove that brains and skill outweigh brute strength at the highest level of boxing.
Crawford. Best defense. Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Timothy Bradley Jr. draws a compelling parallel between the doubts Terence Crawford now faces and the skepticism Muhammad Ali once endured. He recalls how experts predicted Ali would crumble under George Foreman's size and power, only for Ali's strategy and mental toughness to prevail. Bradley sees history repeating itself, with critics claiming Crawford cannot overcome size, yet he argues true greatness is measured not by physical dimensions, but by discipline, preparation, and determination. Bradley reveals Crawford has spent an entire year training specifically for Canelo, showcasing the same level of focus and intent Ali displayed before his legendary triumph.
They said Ali couldn't beat George Foreman. Yep. They said that Jack Dempsey couldn't beat Jess Willard. Yeah. 6'6", Jess Willard, 250 plus pounds. Little old Jack Dempsey knocked him out. Yeah, they saying Terence Bud Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez. It's not gonna even be a fair fight. I promise you that. It's not gonna be a fair fight. Because the minute he get acclimated to that punching power, it's gonna be over for Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, that wide swinging left hook, them big looping right hands. Oh, he can straighten that right hand. You don't think they're gonna be ready for that? Crawford and his team are the best in the business. Yeah, best in the business. Crawford has trained for this for an entire year. 1 year for one man. Thinking about him every day when he's out there grinding, watching video, studying film. Yeah, everybody talking about the weight. Oh, the weight, he too heavy. Tell, it was weight classes for a reason and all of this crap. Man, you think greatness is just built on just being comfortable? Greatness is built on being uncomfortable. Yeah, before we even landed on the moon, it was an idea, right? It was an idea. And then they brought it to life, and we landed on the moon. I know there's some conspiracy theories out there saying that we didn't land on the moon, but you know what the hell I'm talking about. You get it? Yeah, we talk about size. Like size is everything. What about skill? What about mentality?
Boxing Insider. Bernie strongly rejects the notion that Crawford is undersized for this fight. He insists that Crawford's physicality has often been underestimated, yet his success at higher weights proves otherwise. Bernie explains that Crawford isn't recklessly moving up, he's carefully calculated and knows how to deal with bigger men. In his eyes, the deciding factor won't be raw mass, but ring intelligence, adaptability, and composure under fire. He points out that Crawford and his camp excel in strategic planning, and that intellectual edge may give them the upper hand over Canelo's team when the bell rings.
Crawford, you've seen him in the gym, but have you seen the best Crawford under the lights, you think?
When they say the best Crawford, I don't know. I like all Crawfords, how you do. You know, that's what makes him a dynamic champion. You know what I'm saying? The best Crawford is what it takes to win. You know what I mean? Now, some fights are more interested than others. As far as, like I say, the fight with Klimov was a kind of a slow fight. You know, and maybe the Madrimov was a slow fight. Benavidez was kind of a slow fight until he knocked him out. But he was doing a lot of great things in there. So buzz fights, they're always exciting. You never know what's going to happen in those fights. So the best Crawford he's always at his best.
PHX Patriot, thank you for the $2. Get the likes of BMB, best in the biz. Something when Bud walked Canelo down. No way he's too small. Fire. Let's go, Crawford.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that. A lot of people are saying that they don't think that the walking down situation will happen because of the wrestling background, the grapplings, the tactics, the balance and stuff like that. Stuff that Bud knows how to do because of his wrestling background. What would you say?
Man, I don't know nothing about no wrestling background. I mean, he did wrestle for, but he was not no national champion wrestler. He was not no real high school wrestler where he was wrestling all his years in high school. He wrestled. The man is just a freak of nature. He's an athlete. You understand? That's what it is. So his specialty is boxing. Okay, now he's strong as an ox. That's where his shit coming from. So they're not wrestling. It's not gonna be no fucking wrestling. You feel me? He doing strength and conditioning training. He's strong as an ox, like we already know that. His hands is like baseball mitts.
Canelo Alvarez himself has approached the showdown with noticeable humility and respect. Despite being the naturally bigger man, he openly acknowledges Crawford as a dangerous threat. Canelo has said that at boxing's highest level, size alone becomes less of a deciding factor, as elite fighters know how to adjust across divisions. This recognition signals that Canelo is leaving nothing to chance, is preparing with complete focus, treating Crawford as a legitimate rival. His mindset reflects professionalism and awareness that Crawford's style requires more than just power. This respect sets the stage for both men to perform at their absolute peak.
Me, because Terence is a smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
If you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard, because Crawford is very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that, and I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything, so I see everything. And
shocker, Stevenson has no hesitation in backing Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo. Speaking from first-hand experiences in training camps, Stevenson reveals that Crawford has been consistently sparring and dominating fighters who are equal to or bigger than Canelo. He points out that while Canelo is famed for his granite chin, it won't save him if he keeps eating clean, accurate punches. Stevenson emphasizes that at this elite level, boxing isn't just about toughness, but about avoiding shots and landing with precision. Crawford's pinpoint accuracy, he argues, ensures that every punch leaves an impact, giving him a realistic path to victory.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not going to switch. There's nothing that's going to change what I feel.
You've been feeling like that since day one. I think, but now nobody never thought about that fight like that, because when you were saying nobody was thinking about that fight, because not even Bud Crawford.
Crazy. Thought I was crazy.
I still think it's crazy though. For me, I still think it's crazy. But like you said, I'm not in the gym.
Yes, you have to see him, man. The people he spars, everybody that Bud Crawford spars is the same size as Canelo. Like all these guys that he's sparring is bigger guys. He don't even he do spar with people his size sometimes, and sometimes he getting it with me. That's strictly for skill. That's strictly to keep his skills, his hand speed, the IQ level up. But the people that Bud Crawford spars is big ass dudes, and I'm watching what he can do in the ring and sparring. It's nothing that's gonna change come fight night. And I hear y'all say that the 16s and the 8s is different. I agree, but y'all gotta realize Bud got on 8s too.
And the chin also. Like Canelo Alvarez got one of them chins, man.
Bud got on 8 ounces too. And you can have all the chin in the world. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you is. If you get punched by the right motherfucker, you gonna feel that shit.
But that's the thing. He got punched by the right motherfuckers in Triple G and Kovalev.
Okay, and you don't know if Bud gonna crack him with a cleaner shot.
Legendary commentator Jim Lampley offers a more cautious take, expressing concern that Crawford may simply be too small. To withstand Canelo, he praises Crawford's brilliance, but highlights that natural size and strength matter at the highest levels. In Lampley's view, Canelo's experience against larger opponents and his proven toughness could widen the gap. While he doesn't discount Crawford's skill, he frames the matchup as an uphill battle, suggesting technical sharpness may not fully bridge the physical difference. His perspective injects balance into the debate, reminding fans of the real risks Crawford faces in taking on such a formidable challenge.
The conversations, I'm sure Jim will be hearing them abound. What do you think about the fight now that you just witnessed Canelo Alvarez again in the masterclass performance?
I love Terence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough, and not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that you would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight. He is the most skilled pound-for-pound fighter in the world, but I just don't think he's big enough and strong enough to take on Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. And so far, Crawford is 154-pound fighter who's only been to 154 pounds once and didn't get a knockout. So, I just don't see it at this moment. I think there is a very obvious assignment out there for Canelo Alvarez, and it isn't Terence Crawford at this moment.
Crawford's leap to challenge. Canelo Alvarez is a bold statement of ambition. Very few fighters are willing to risk their legacy by stepping into the ring with a naturally bigger superstar. Yet Crawford embraces the challenge, just as he has when moving up weight classes before. His performances at 154 pounds already showed that he can dominate even against larger men. At 168, the danger is greater, but Crawford believes his blend of timing, precision, and mobility will prevent him from being overwhelmed. His confidence in chasing a knockout victory underscores his belief that skill and ring IQ can neutralize physical disadvantages.
As a southpaw, but basically he can fight in both stances. Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer. And as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys.
Rising star Edgar Berlanga applauds Crawford's fearlessness while also offering key advice. He warns that Crawford should avoid altering his proven style to match Canelo's size, as doing so would play into the wrong fight. Instead, Berlanga encourages him to rely on his biggest strengths, patience, accuracy, and composure under pressure. He adds that moving up to divisions actually evens out the matchup more than most realize, making it far more competitive than many predict. Berlanga concludes that regardless of outcome, Crawford's willingness to take on Canelo already elevates his legacy, showing his courage and hunger to face the best.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, show his IQ, show him why he's a 2-time undisputed, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. That could be a difference in the fight, because obviously, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a for the power. I'm a for the that size difference, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, we'll just all know that, hey, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and like this video and stay tuned for more like this.